Howdy, I'm Gary, Dillon Precision's Human Manual, and I'm here to talk about some tech tips for the RL550 machine. This is going to help you keep your machine running after you've had it a while. We're going to hit on some issues that you might run into just due to age and use. If you've ever done a significant disassembly of the linkage of your machine to lubricate it, or if all of a sudden cases are not lining up with the dies in the tool head, then you need to realign the platform. To do that, you need an alignment tool. I'm here, instructions not necessary. This is really easy. So first, you need to pull the existing tool head off the machine. So detach the fail-safe rod, lift out the two tool head pins, put them in our handy dandy catcher, slide this tool head out. Set it off to the side. Next, we need to take off the shell plate. So to do that, you need a 1/8 inch hex key wrench. Loosen the set screw that holds the shell plate bolt in place. About 1/2 a turn is all. Now, you should be able to turn this with your fingers. If not, use a 1/4 inch. And again, we'll set that down. Pull the shell plate off, set it aside. Get the little brass locator pins out of our way. And the detent ball. Now, you've got these two platform bolts. You're going to need to loosen them up. Use a 3/16 hex key wrench to loosen these two bolts. And remove any primer. Now, you're going to take a plain powder die, nothing in it, put it into station 1 in the tool head. Slide it in place, drop in your pins. The alignment tool looks like a powder funnel, except it's stepped and it's solid. This drops into the die and hangs down. Now the bottom of this goes into the hole where the primers come up through. And what you want is to leave that in there while you retighten these two bolts. Be sure to leave it in there while you're tightening them so that you don't torque the platform out of location. And these bolts you really want to torque down tight. Okay, once your platform is realigned, now we'll put back everything together and we'll talk about some maintenance issues here. So first, make sure that the hole around the detent ball is clean. Half of the detent ball should spring up above the top of the platform. If it does not, that means there's a debris buildup inside that hole and it might keep your shell plate from aligning properly. Next, this is a real good time. Clean off your shell plate. You're going to get some flattened primer residue, maybe a little bit of case lube, bullet grease if you're loading cast bullets. Just wipe things off. Okay, now we're going to talk about a little bit of maintenance here. Where the head of the shell plate bolt fits into the top of the index sprocket, you want to grease that lightly. So while we've got this apart, grab your handy dandy cotton swab with a little grease, Grease the inside of this recess, grease where the shell plate bolt and the index sprocket actually touch each other. If you don't, eventually you'll have to hammer these two parts apart in order to remove them. Okay. Tighten the shell plate bolt all the way down until it stops. Wrong size. There it is. Tighten the shell plate all the way down until it stops. Back it up about 1/8 of a turn. Push down on the edge of the shell plate. If it feels springy, it's too loose and you may get crooked primers. So you want to make sure that there's virtually no up and down movement in the shell plate. Okay, while holding this with a wrench, make sure your shell plate rotates smoothly. Once it does, re-snug this set screw. You don't need to torque it. The set screw has a brass tip that easily deforms to help hold that shell plate bolt in position. But if you forget to tighten that bolt, that set screw, what will happen is when you rotate your shell plate 2 or 3 times, the shell plate bolt tightens up and now it no longer indexes at all. Put your brass locator pins back into position. Remove your stunt tool head with the alignment tool. And that job's done.